Concierge Golf Ireland in conversation with the famous David O'Donovan, General Manager at County Sligo Golf Club in the northwest of Ireland. David, how is it going up there in the west today?
All good, John. Hope all is good down there with you. Yeah, it's the sun is shining, golf course is empty, but you know what? We're looking forward to the year ahead and the number of years that are coming down our way, hopefully.
Yes. So the main reason I get in contact to chat about it, because it's rare that you get an opportunity to talk because it's just typically just too busy with different things that are going on. So the lockdown and all the other stuff that's going on has presented opportunities to talk and say hi and talk about County Sligo Golf Club and the different things to do up there. So may I ask you, can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you came to County Sligo Golf Club?
Yeah, no problem, John. I'm general manager here since 2010. Previous to that, I was the golf manager in a golf course not far away called Castledargan in Parkland. And my background before that was I was a sales manager for a confectionery company. I suppose I was always a keen golfer. Lowest handicap was 1. Played interprovincial golf for Connacht back a number of years ago. And I suppose to get into the golf management side, I served on the board here at County Sligo Golf Club for 3 years, 3 or 4 years between 2003 and 2006. And at that stage, I was in the confectionery business, and an opportunity came up in 2006 to go to Castledargan Golf Club as a golf manager, and I went through the process and was appointed there in 2006, and I spent nearly 3 years there. And unfortunately, the recession hit and things didn't go too well in that club. So the opportunity arose here in 2009. The recruitment process started, and I started here on the 1st of January 2010. So that's kind of my background, and I'm a lifelong member here in County Sligo. I live just outside the village. I grew up here, so it's always a difficult one because you're going in to manage a golf club that you grew up in, and you're the young 14 or 15-year-old whippersnapper going around the club, and now you're suddenly the general manager, and you have to put that persona out there of it's an important position and you can't belittle it. And I suppose, I've enjoyed it since I've come here. It's been, we were just coming out of the recession in 2010, and it was a tough time starting out here because green fees had hit rock bottom. Membership was tough because people weren't joining clubs, couldn't afford it, and we would have a number of this would be their second club for a number of members because they would have summer houses here. So we lost a lot of that membership. So I was starting at the bottom of the rung really and working my way up to try and build it up. And we've managed to do that. Green fees were very positive in 2019, and okay, then the world hit a wall. But the growth we've shown since it all started has been very positive. And what I see now is starting again in 2021 is I'm back down there where I was in 2010.
Right, okay.
And starting from scratch again, which is tough. But I know how to do it. I've done it before, and I feel I'll do it again. And we'll get back up to the heights, and hopefully it won't take as long to get to the heights of where we were.
And right now besides the different things that are going on, have you lost a number of members in the last couple of months?
No, I suppose we took the decision with I suppose golf took a new lease of life because golf was available.
Yeah.
One of the first sports back. So we got a number of new members who joined the club in the summertime and joined up to the end of the year. Following on from that, we looked at the membership profile, and we had 194 new members before the end of the year. So we'll hold a good proportion of them. Excuse me.
Very grand. No, very. That's, and I mean, very. I would. And on the membership thing, I certainly have heard different stories. It's definitely a lot easier for a members club vis-a-vis a corporate club, because if you're owned, you're providing a service. There's only a limited amount of time available. there's a much bigger challenge there. We're trying to get that subscription level right.
Yeah.
Whereas with a golf club, if it's members owned, regardless what happens, the members are the people who are the core funders of the club. So whichever way you cut it, it still comes from the members anyway. So yeah, I completely understand that, and it's very, very valid. And it's very interesting as well, is that the amount of golfers that have joined. I mean, the 184 is a smashing number, and that would be. I mean, I'm thinking about different clubs around here in Cork, where it's similar explosion of people getting out to play golf. I teach golf myself as well, since there's not too much of the golf travel activity happening, and I've never been as inundated with requests for the different types of things to do, which is fabulous, and hopefully it continues on this year. And with the golf course, since you've been there since you started as a junior member all the way through, I mean, how many changes has there been? I'm not going to ask your age now, David, but how many?
I'm only young. I'm 47 years of age. I suppose the big changes that I would have seen, our 12th hole was a par 5. Must be 25 years ago, possibly longer. We lengthened it and put a new green out on the edge of the ocean, basically on the Atlantic Ocean. So it gained about 40 meters from the old green, and I suppose that was the big change when I was growing up. That and then going back maybe 20 years ago, the new third tee, which is the par 5, was created by Martin Hawtrey, and that lengthened that hole. Now that hole has changed an awful lot since. About 6-7 years ago, the board here asked me to approach Pat Ruddy. Pat was a lifelong member here. Played his golf here as a kid. Lived in Ballymote, which is about 20 miles away. Used to cycle over and play golf. And Pat had a huge passion for County Sligo. And I walked I made an appointment. I met him in the European Club maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Asked him, could we meet for a coffee? And after about 25 minutes shooting the breeze, he says, "Young Donovan, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Pat, I've been approached. I'm here to approach you and ask you, would you consider being our course architect?" Where he nearly fell off the chair that he was sitting on. He was overwhelmed. He was very emotional. He was delighted. And Pat has worked here tirelessly over the last 6-7 years, and we've made wholesale changes. And one of those changes, I suppose, is outside the door for me here on the third. We created a new third green, which basically put it back about 60 meters, and created a whole new greens complex. And the one thing, when Pat sat down and he looked at County Sligo, he said, "There's 4 holes that I'll never touch, and they're the 4 par 3s, because they don't need to be touched. They're world class as it is." So it's one of the things he decided straight away was, I'm never going to do that. And that worked very, very well. So from the new bunkering on the third, to the new green, to the new championship tee on 5, the extension of the green on the 5th, the new bunkering on 6, a slight movement of the green on 7 with the new bunker, new bunkering on 8, new championship tee on 10, which basically is so far back you can't even see the people on it. It's a super hole from it. Yeah. It really created, a drive along the seashore, with a big carry, and then new tee boxes and bunkering on 11, 12, and then I suppose in the last 2 years. 2 years ago, he moved a new championship tee on 14, and his brief was to look at the golf course from the eyes of a championship golfer.
Right.
So, if we were having an Irish Open or a Walker Cup or a Curtis Cup, whatever it may be going down the line, that we would have the length. We would have the extra length. We're over 7,000 yards now, right, off the championship length, off the championship tees, and he's created some super holes out of it. It's a tough golf course to stand on those back tees, and I was a fairly good golfer, but it's too much for me now on those tees. They're a long way back, and the members have embraced the changes, and I suppose we're during the pandemic, we're probably lucky enough that we were able to get some more of the work finished that we were scheduled to do. So, some of the work that we've undertaken at the moment was our 15th fairway, which is a par 4, which runs along the Atlantic Ocean as you come in.
Yeah.
The fairway needed to be raised by about 2.5 feet.
Really?
On the landing area. It flooded in the summer, in the winter time.
Okay.
It just was too low lying. So part of Pat's drawing was to raise that 2.5 feet, get rid of the mounding that was on the left hand side, and create 3 little hills rather than a full long mound, and then 100 meters from the green a new bunker and another mounding, and which has started today. So the work has started on that today. We've completed the lifting of the fairway, and the first project was done. We finished that 2 weeks ago, and the fairway has been re-turfed and re-turfed by the team here. And the digger moved in there on this morning at 8 o'clock, and Pat has been on FaceTime and this time and every other time looking at video this and video that and looking at this and the other. So it's, Mark and the team are working away on that today. We will be probably down there for the rest of this week and a couple of days next week. But I suppose one of the things we had to look at was we need to get the work finished that was there, but also we have 1,000 members, and the 1,000 members have been away from the golf course for a long time.
Yeah.
And they want to see something has been done while they're away. Because, I've all the team still employed here, everybody's still working on the golf course. I'm the only one left in the office. But I didn't want a scenario where members came back and said, geez, I wonder what they were doing for the last 2 months or 3 months.
Yes.
So when we get a date to return to golf, we will issue a document to the members telling them the work we have undertaken in case they don't see it, because some of it is on our 9-hole course. So we built a new tee box on our 9-hole on the first hole, and we put in some new grass pathways, and we've done the same in the championship. So when they come back, hopefully in the next month or 6 weeks, that they will see that the lads weren't sitting around just cutting grass, that they're actually doing projects.
Yeah.
And I think our members will appreciate that, and they will appreciate the changes and the work that has been undertaken by the team here since they were off.
That's excellent. And just from the point of view of course length, is there, from the tee boxes that are there, is there a course that's roughly between 62 to 6,500 yards available also?
Yeah. We have basically 3 courses for the men. We our ladies course, which is our red course. We have a green, which is our basically society or our group or visitor. Our white, which is our medal course, and then the blue, which is the championship. And there's variety there for everybody. The one thing I always say to our international visitors is, when you get to the 14th, go back up to the top tee and look at it. You don't have to hit from it, but just look at what you can see from up there and the view and the layout of the hole, because it's a vision you'll never take out of your mind, because the views are stunning along the Atlantic Ocean, the right-hand side, looking in on 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, and looking back on the left where you have 5, 6, 7, 8 to your left-hand side and 9. And that makes a huge difference when you stand on that tee. So we encourage all our caddies that they bring all our guests up there, show them they can play from there if they wish.
Yes.
There's 4 different teeing grounds, so they have 4 different options to play from. And if they're having a bit of fun and they're a very good golfer, they have that challenge of going back a little bit further and hitting their tee shot from there. That's
fantastic. So it's essentially the place to take your photo back at the 14th tee.
Yeah.
Excellent. Because I mean, that's the other part of golf. It's very much a part of creating the memories as well. So from the location of County Sligo Golf Club, they just, let's say, further north up around the coast, you've Donegal, and back along the coast then we say towards the west, there's Enniscrone and Carne. So I suppose then again from Donegal you got Nairn and Port New, there's Rossapena, the soon to open the third course up there, and Ballyliffin and Northwest, and then there's Dunfanaghy, and just, I mean, there is an absolute whack of golf to be played.
There's a whack of quality golf, John. That's not, as I always say, is we're sleeping giants up here. We're totally underrated. We have as good, if not better, than any of the golf courses in the southwest or the east coast. There's value for money up here. We're not jam-packed with golfers. We manage our timesheets very well, and we look after the international visitor and the Irish visitor that comes here. So, if you want your ideal package and you want to come up and, you play Carne, play Enniscrone, play County Sligo, play a game in Strandhill and play Merva, you've got, 4 quality golf courses very, very close together. And then, with that, you can base yourself in Sligo for 2 or 3 nights and be able to go to them and then head up to Donegal and play your Rossapena, your Ballyliffin and Port Salin and, tie in 3 or 4 nights there. So you're not jumping on a bus every day to have to go everywhere. You have 3 or 4 quality games of golf within an area. And it's not just for the golfer. You can go deep sea fishing here as well. We've fishing charters that are running out of the village here that become part of the package. Like the famous poet W.B. Yeats is only buried over the road. And all the buses pass by that, his grave on the way to Donegal, and a lot of them will stop and go in and have a coffee there at the coffee shop and just for the history. So there, I suppose County Sligo is established since 1894, and there's a huge history here. Like we've hosted the West of Ireland Championship since 1923, and the West of Ireland is one of the biggest amateur events in the country. And we have, there's a picture behind me there of Rory McIlroy in 2006.
I figured that.
Playing in the it's August 2006. I think he was playing in the interprovincials for Ulster. And that's the 5th tee he's standing on, and the likes of Rory, Porrick, Shane, JB Carr, Cecil Ewing, like they were like Rory won 2 West of Irelands in 2005 and 2006. Porrick won it in 1994, our centenary year. After being 4 down after 8, he won in 18. So, and then Shane won here in 2008 or 9. I think it was 8. And those guys have gone on to win majors. But Rory played his golf here. He nearly won 3 West of Irelands. He was pipped, I think, by Paul Cutler in 2007, and in the semi-final. And he played a lot of links golf, and he did very, very well here. His dad made a good few bob. Jerry made a few bob here with our local bookie on the West of Ireland on his first year. This wee whippersnapper coming up here to play in the West of Ireland in 2005, and I think Jerry had €100 or £100 on Rory, and our poor bookie didn't know what hit him when he was paying out on Tuesday evening. Ooh. But that's the history that's there. Like we've had great champions, and it's a tournament we really missed last year, not being able to host it due to the pandemic. And we have a board meeting tonight to possibly approve a change of date for 2021. Due to Easter, we're not going to be able to have it this year. So there's a board meeting tonight. We're hoping that we can have it later in the year. But it's a little bit up for grabs at the moment. So our members love the West of Ireland. They pride themselves in going out and supporting it and watching golf. There's great followers of golf here in Rossall Point. There's a great knowledge of golf. And it's a small village. It's similar to Lahinch. You have 4 big championships in Ireland: the north, the south, the east, and the west. They're held in 4 of the top courses. You have Royal Port Rush holding the north. You have the east of Ireland over in County Louth. You have the south of Ireland in Lahinch, and then the best of all, you have the west of Ireland in County Sligo.
Of course, that's of course the best, David. There's no second fiddle here.
You're right there.
And that's all very true. About I would say very true. It's a critical point that when golfers come, they need to know of a base for a while, and you could effectively spend 6 nights in Sligo. And the town is pretty big. There's a number of great hotels there, lots of different types of restaurants. As you mentioned, plenty of things to do between the sea fishing. You got the river fishing. There's the sights to see. There is quite a lot to do in the northwest area. And so, I mean, there's always stuff to do for, let's say, for example, for the golfing couples, if they wanted to play golf in the morning, do some touring activity in the afternoon. Also with that, if there was a group of golfers there where the 4 lads played golf and the 4 ladies wanted things to do, there's a great mix around for that kind of activity as well. And also as well, even just for the groups of 18, 16, 32 guys, I mean, it's golf till you drop, because I mean, with the extra golf that you can play at Carne and Enniscrone, at Sligo, if you wanted an emergency 9, an emergency 18 or emergency 9, call up and show up and see how you get on.
Look,
so,
and they always say we'll always facilitate our visitors. We do our best. Customer service is what we pride ourselves on. And as you say, for the 4 lads coming for a game of golf and the 4 wives want to go into town and do a bit of shopping, they can do that. They can go over to Glencar Waterfall and look at the stunning Glencar Waterfall and spend, an hour over there while the husbands are out shooting birdies. They're over looking at that. And I think that's what it's all about. And I think, we have so much to offer here. We have top quality golf, but I tell you the one thing we have is we have a people who are very welcoming. Excellent. And they love to see visitors. The hotels we have in the area, the Glass House, the Radisson, Sligo Park, the 8th Country Hotel, then over to Mount Falcon, up into Donegal for, Loch Esk and Harvey's Point, and up to Rosapenna, then a bit further for the Rosapenna Complex Hotel, and up to Ballyliffin then for the Strand and the Ballyliffin Lodge. So, we have top quality accommodation. We have people who love to meet new people and visitors coming into the area, and they embrace that. And, we're a small village here, and we rely heavily on the tourism industry. And, it's been a tough couple of years, but we see green shoots at the end of it. Okay, it's probably a little bit further away than we would have liked. But, we have top quality restaurants to go, and your Ellabon, your Hooked, your Fiddler's Creek, your Yates Tavern, your Osty's, the Driftwood, Coach Lane. So we have a number of places people can go and try all the top quality restaurants, and also our hotels have very good food in them as well. So, and you know what, second to none is the golf court, the clubhouse itself here. We do a mean burger, a mean steak, or a mean chowder with your pint of Guinness. So don't look too far away from going upstairs and enjoying the hospitality from my team here.
Excellent. I remember there, it says in early about 3 years ago, and there was a group of lads who were staying up at the Radisson Hotel, which is just outside the front door, essentially of the golf club. Anyway, so the group went into Coach Lane for dinner, and they had an amazing dinner, which was lovely. And normally they'd had a couple of glasses of wine. On this occasion, I can't remember the name. The owner came out and sat down.
Andy Donovan.
That's right. He came out and sat down, and he started telling stories. Anyway, I'd say it was the guts of maybe, I'd say they polished off another half dozen, if not a half dozen bottles of wine between the 12 of them. They sat there for the night, and a really interesting night, and a good fun. It was fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
And Andy worked in a course in America. He did the catering, himself and his wife at the restaurant in a course in the States. I can't remember where. But Andy is a member here, and he's larger than life individual. He loves the guys coming in, and he's happy to sit down at the table and talk to them about his golfing stories. He plays off about 12 or 13 handicap. He talks a great game, but I tell you what, he's a hell of a chef.
Well, that's knowing your strengths. Well, David, that was a fantastic chat. Thank you very much for your time. I mean, as I say, I'll post this out to all my gang at Concierge Golf, and look, sure, listen, whenever we get going again, I'll be up. Definitely, I'll be up.
We look forward to welcoming you back.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. No problem at all.